I want to kind of stay on this topic of fear and insecurities and not getting past, certain things that can become barriers, because you talked on two things that I think are huge. The first thing is us dealing with our own inner conflict. Like, we have so many things. Even the most confident individuals have so many things. I think that confidence only shows up in the areas that we are the best at or that we're good at, right? So if you're trying to write your book for the first time and you've never done it before, you may be the best golfer, but you may not be confident in this. If you're trying to speak right in front of an audience for the first time and you've never done that before, you might be that person who is like the man or the woman in the office, right, around 3 or 4 people, but you get in front of 100 people and now it's a totally different thing. How do you fight that inner conflict? How do you fight those butterflies? How do you fight the negative self-talk? Listen, even as we're doing this interview right now, I've got an angel right here on my shoulder and a devil right here, and the angel is saying, hey, this is going great. The devil is saying, did you hear the last 6 words that you screwed up, right? So everyone gets it. How do you fight that?
So I would tell people, just go out there and do it. You just have to do it, right? And the more you do it, the repetitive you are, the better you're going to be at it. You just have to be consistent, right? It's just like starting your first podcast. It ain't gonna be might not be the great first time, but you consistently do it, right? And consistently build your brand, you're gonna get better. You're gonna get better. It's all about that consistently, just stepping out there and doing it. And I mean, back to what we were saying earlier, when you're trying to get to that next level and you're looking for people that can, take you there, interview them too. What a great way to connect with people by interviewing them and learning how they did it and putting those nuggets. Everybody, I don't care what status, they love to be interviewed.
No one says no to an interview.
No one says no. And
right.
So I tell all my clients, interview them. Everybody loves it. And you can build connections from there. That is the door to so many amazing opportunities and collaborations and networking if you do it right. But you have to nurture it. Once you connect, you got to nurture it. Because the power of connection is more than money. Yes. It can take you places that money can't. One person can change your whole life. One person.
And we're all 6 degrees, right? 6 degrees from separation. So you're actually 6 degrees from almost anyone on the planet that you want to reach. So that's big right there. Thinking about it, no one says no to an interview. No one. We all have a story, and we all want to be treated like we have something special in us. So it's flattering when you go out to, Jane Doe or John Doe and you say, hey, I know that I consider you to be the best in this area. I'd love to go in and interview you for my upcoming podcast. It doesn't even have to be an existing channel or podcast yet, right? My upcoming podcast, and I'd like to get you as one of the featured speakers. Oh, you want to me as the featured speaker? Sure, absolutely. When do you want to do it? Right? So now let's talk about the next thing. We kind of talked about your inner circle. We talked about overcoming those inner fears. Now the big thing is, how do you overcome the people that are closest to you who happen to be the naysayers? And they may be doing it intentionally, and in most cases they may unintentionally be doing it, right? Because they truly care for you and they don't want to see you get hurt, right? So when you share these big dreams with someone who doesn't see the dream yet, they may give you some advice. Listen, I'll give you an example. So one of my goals is my wife and I, we do some real estate investing. And one of my goals is to get to 2,000 apartments. And I told my mom this. No, actually, not my mom. I told someone else this. I'm not going to say who I told it to. Okay. Because that person may watch this and then I'll be in trouble. But I said, listen, my goal is to get to 2,000 apartments. And they immediately looked and said, why would you want that headache? Right? So they saw that part of it. And guess what happened, Ashley? Like, what do you think happened after this is someone that I truly care about, that I believe cares about me. I just really came out and told them about one of my biggest, most grandest goals. And their response was, why would you want that headache? What do you think? How do you think I felt after that?
Well, because of the mindset that you have, I know it bothers you, but it is not going to stop you. You're going to do it anyway.
I'm going to do it anyway. But
Right.
You're right. Immediately, I kind of had to second guess myself. Right? What? Whoa, headache. I didn't think about that.
Right,
I didn't think about that. And then you get all of this flood of possible scenarios that could take place, right? And then you have to snap yourself out of it. And I think that we always have to realize that our dreams are not someone else's dreams, and they shouldn't be, right? We were given that dream for a reason. So how do you deal with those people that care about us, but trying to give us loving advice that can also be very hurtful at times?
Well, I would say first, when you think about that, Mary from high school or Mary from college, or maybe your cousin Jerry, or somebody very close to you, they only can see you from, oh, that was Mary when she was in school, I remember her, or I remember Jerry from college. They only can see you to that level, right? And some people, their vision of you is only to that level. And so you have to have a mindset. That's why that mindset is so important, that you have to go out and connect with other people that can see you at that level that you are at now, and they can see past that level. And it's no disrespect. It's nothing personal. It's just they only see you at a certain level. And we have to get past that, especially when our dreams are big, especially when we're very ambitious, especially when we have an end goal that they probably won't ever be able to see. But it's all about just, embracing that, showing them grace, but getting in the right circles that actually can see where I'm getting ready to go, that can see past where I'm getting ready to go.
Yeah, and they probably won't ever see it until you make it that reality, and now they can see it. Yeah. That is so powerful there, right? So that could be one of your ambitions there. Your goals is just to say, hey, I know this person doesn't see it now, but I'm going to make it a reality and they will see it. So let's kind of switch gears for a minute. And I know that you've written these books, you've done very well I want to talk about jumping over to the subject of marketing your book. So one of the biggest issues that some traditional authors face is knowing how to market and monetize their work. And I saw that you'll be speaking on this very, very subject pretty soon. Like, how do you market and monetize your work, whether that's a book or whether it's a course or content that you have? Are there any tips that you can share with my audience?
Absolutely. And I just did this at a group last night. And my first thing for the actual group was, your book is a business, right? And people have to get that mentality first. Don't let your book just sit on the shelf and collect dust. You have to market and treat your book like a business, because honestly, for people who don't have a platform, that's actually a key to opening a platform. And it makes you an expert as well, right? When you're writing a book, you are considered an expert in that field that you're writing your book in. And it continues to build a platform. And I told the group last night that even if you're not a speaker, when you become an author, you are a speaker. Right? You are a speaker. And so we have to seek out those opportunities, a lot of different ways that you can market and monetize. My first thing I would say is, if you can, and I would tell everybody, become a bestseller. It gives you a lot of credibility, and it opens a lot of doors for you, right? It opens a lot of doors. Also, join collaboration projects. If you're new to this and you might not have a solo book in your head, join collaboration projects. It's a big networking and collaborating opportunity where you connect with all different authors from all different backgrounds, right? And they're all promoting, and your name and your brand is out there in so many different outlets. That has opened so many doors for me, because I've been part of so many collaboration projects, and I've been visionary authors of a meaning that I was a visionary, and I've built the book with different authors from different places. And the way you can monetize that is, if you become a visionary author and you have authors as part of your book, you create an amazing packet and you charge them to be a part of it. Charge them to be a part of it, and then they're going to win too, because you're giving them an opportunity to become an author, and then they're putting your book out there. Every time your book is out there, because they're in your book, your name is on that front cover, and so your brand, your exposure is just over the top, right? And so everybody's winning, everybody's getting exposure, and it continues to build your network and those different doors that continue to open. Next, I would say you need to partner with corporations and universities. Those are big opportunities. Yeah. Corporation and university, most of the time, if you do the deal right, they will buy the books up front from you. And then you'll come in and whether you're speaking at a lunch and learn or an event at a corporation, you come in, you do the event, they've already bought the books from you. Hey, that I've done so many of those lunch and learns and coming to speak about different topics that are surrounded around my book at corporations. Also with universities, I partner with universities all the time. I remember my last one was at Tennessee State University, where I went and spoke to, oh my God, almost over 200 or more students. And we spoke about my book over, year for year. And they bought the book, from me before I came to speak. So they bought a bulk of books, or 500 more books, and every student got one. Then I came in and I spoke to them about my book, right? And now I've made a connection with Tennessee State, where I'm over there now currently talking to, and I'm there every week talking to their media and entrepreneur students. They wanted me to come and speak to them, and I come and I speak to them every week. So it's just continuing to make those connections, because those partnerships, if you do them right, they'll continue to come back. I also would say partnering with bookstores like Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble will buy the books up front from you as well. They'll pay you up front, and then they'll make their money on the back end. And if your book sells, they'll continuously come back and buy the books from you, and it's continuously flow of that partnership. And then ask them, can you do a book signing at their store? And that's a great opportunity, because you will be able to present your book into a whole different audience. To all of the people that come to that Barnes and Noble, I've done that before, and it was amazing. It put me in front of a different audience. They were able to hear my book, and they actually bought my book as well. And so corporations, universities, I tell people virtual book fairs. I know this is the new normal for everybody. Utilize it. It's an opportunity. Do the virtual book fairs. Do the virtual book signings. I currently have company called the HBCU Experience Movement LLC, where I created this company to reach back. It's a philanthropy company where we giving back to our HBCU. So my goal is to touch all 107. I've already did 6 schools this year, working on more now. And we're going to talk to alumni of different HBCUs, and they're sharing their stories of how their HBCU has molded them to the people they are today, right? And so this is to increase alumni giving, and it's also increased enrollment. And we're doing endowments and partnerships with different HBCUs. And so I did an amazing book signing back in July with virtual one. It was for the first ever HBCU Queens book, and that was the first ever one that's ever been done. And I was a former queen myself. And I had queens from different universities, and we did a virtual book signing, and it was about over 12,000 or more people that just logging in all over the world.
Are you serious?
Queens. Yes. And then a couple weeks, probably a week later, Fox Soul called me, and Fox Soul put us on their TV show. They said, we want to interview you all. So the media just caught on so quick. Blacknews.com, they featured us. It was that quick. So it's just those opportunities. It's so much that your book can do for you, but you have to market and monetize it. And if you don't market and monetize it, don't think anybody else will. Yeah. And I tell people that all the time. It's just getting out there and creating those collaborations, and even speaking opportunities, applying for different speaking opportunities. And even if it's a free opportunity, you can flip it to a paid one by speaking to those audiences, right? And then figuring out how you're going to incorporate your book in your pitch to make sure that it turns to monetization, right? Because that's the whole key. Every time I go speak in a group, if I'm speaking for free, I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna monetize it, right? Like last night, it was for free, but I had clients afterwards. I picked up 8 clients who wanted to publish books, right? And so I tell people, don't shy away from free opportunities, because you always turn them into monetization. You just have to do it right. Yeah.
Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I wanted to have Ashley on, because as you can tell, this is not her first rodeo. She's a wealth of knowledge. Listen, I don't even know where to begin here, because I've got so many ideas now in my head of things that I need to go back and revisit or incorporate for the first time.
Humble. That Ty Cohen is telling me that. I'm humble.
Well, listen, I think I have to get you on for about 6 or 7 more episodes, because everything that you just spoke about could be broken down into an entire show, right? I mean, you talked about partnering with bookstores. You talked about going after corporations, right? You talked about so many different things there. And I think you started it off with understanding that as the author, you are the authority.
Yeah.
And a lot of people forget that. They forget that once you have this thing in your hand with your name in the byline or wherever it may be, people now look at you as someone that's on this level. Yeah. Right? Now, we're all on the same level, right? But they look at you as the next person because you actually did it. You actually went out and you finished it. The next step is something else that you said that was super important is it's no longer the day of you write a book and you hope that a publishing company comes after you. You have all of the tools that are necessary for you to go in and create the visibility. You go in and you do something like this. You start a YouTube channel, you start a podcast, you go out and you reach out to the local bookstores or even bookstores in your state or in neighboring states, right? You go out and you reach out to some of the colleges that are out there, right? As she said, she spoke at one of the colleges and actually had a couple of hundred copies of her book sold in advance, right? So there's so many different opportunities. It just takes you thinking outside of a box.
Hey, Ty Cohen here, and I got a free gift for you. It's a new copy of my latest book, Kindle Publishing Secrets Volume 1, and I want to give it to you for free. So let me explain what's in this book. So for the last 12 years, I've done nothing but publish content on Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform. And it's allowed me to literally create an amazing life, right? Creating content that becomes a new income stream with each new piece of content that you publish. With each new piece of content you publish, it turning into a passive recurring revenue stream. And, it's stuff that you don't have to write yourself. Now, the beautiful part about this is if you are a writer, then you can go in and create your own content using the traditional means that you're used to. But if you're not a writer, then you go in and outsource it. So I put everything that I've discovered over the last 12 years of creating Kindle books and publishing Kindle books and creating a virtual Kindle publishing empire into this one book. And I want to give it to you for free. So here's how you're going to get your copy. Just by going to www.kindlecashflow.com/3 steps. That's right, kindlecashflow.com/3 steps, and you'll get your free book, right? So now here's the catch. I'm only giving this out to a certain number of people. We're going to give away a couple hundred copies, and then after that, it's gone. So if you want to get one of these books that actually has the secret to everything that I've done over the last decade to build up a massive Kindle publishing empire, you can go in and get it right now for free and ahead of everyone else, right? This is going to be available for sale pretty soon. I'll probably make it available for sale for about $100 a copy, because it's that rare and it's that limited. But right now, you can get it for free by going to kindlecashflow.com/3 steps, all lowercase. kindlecashflow.com/3 steps, all lowercase. And I'll see you on the inside, and I'll see you living a passive, recurring revenue life as well.